Hi there, and welcome to day 3 of my coaching tips. I hope these are proving to be helpful. Even if there's one little thing you can take from any of them, then to me that's a success. So I am even more excited than normal about today because all of these tips are things I've collated over the years and I found really useful myself, but this one is the single biggest, most effective tip I've ever come across for my own self-development, and also had a lot of clients have success with it as well, and that is starting a gratitude diary. Now, it might not sound very exciting to you, but this combined with actually daily meditation, so it may well be a combination of the two, but has completely changed my mindset around and been of massive use to me. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why do it, first of all. Sounds really simple, right? And we all think, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm grateful, but actually how grateful are we for the small things, and could we be more grateful? So what this does, why do it, and talk about maybe how to do it. So why do it? Well, if we want to get all into the kind of neuroscience of it, actually they've shown massive links between gratitude and the amount of serotonin in your brain. And obviously serotonin improves your sleep and also makes you feel less pain. So increases your tolerance to pain. So it kind of makes you feel better all round, really. And why do it, just from a general perspective as well? It sets your brain up. It's a way of programming your brain to look for more positive stuff. So it's like a kind of positive feedback loop. There's an area of your brain called the reticular activating system, or RAS, which actually is so important and interesting that I'm going to do a whole session on it tomorrow. But yeah, the reticular activating system of the brain is kind of like the bouncer for your brain. So it lets your brain know what you're on the lookout for. You programming it yourself with your language, with things you're interested in. So if you're constantly looking at the kind of perhaps cup half empty side of things, then that's what your brain is going to tell you to look out for. The RAS kind of helps you prove the stories that you have in your mind. So if your story is, oh, I'm hard done by and bad things happen to me, it will go out of its way to seek things to reinforce that. Whereas if you are telling your brain, wow, I'm grateful for even small things, it will seek out more things to make you more grateful. So massive positive feedback loop. So yeah, I mean, those alone are two great reasons for doing it, but it really does. It's a cumulative effect as well. It's hard to tangibly say, you know, this tick does this equals this, but just the way your attitude and your brain changes as a result of it, and the way you just attract more gratitude into your life. You know, we get what we look for, essentially. And if your brain is looking out for things to be grateful for all day, then you're going to find them. So how did I do it? Well, I started doing it. I looked this up today. I went back and I looked through all my gratitude diaries, and I started doing it over 3 years ago. I started doing it in May 2015. In fact, here are my gratitude diaries for the last 3+ years. I'm now just about to finish the 9th exercise book. So I set myself the challenge to do this over 3 years ago, and I wanted to keep it simple because I think it's really important not to put too much pressure on yourself. So that's a key point for me, is make it easy, don't put too much pressure on yourself, set an achievable target. So I set myself a target, right, I'm just going to write 3 bullet points every day. And that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to make it onerous. I don't want to make it huge so that I don't do it. Actually, what happens is I end up writing about a page of an exercise book every day, but that's through choice. I wanted to set it up so that I only have 3 bullet points to do, and I didn't want to make any rules like you can't repeat stuff. Some people do, I don't. Often I put my comfortable bed in as one of the things that I'm grateful for, so that turns up a lot, and tiny things. The idea is just to notice the tiny things, so make it simple, and my morning routine, and I definitely recommend having a morning routine of some degree of structure, and I'll probably do a session on that at some point as well, because they do say that all the most successful people have them, and there's lots of stuff out there and lots of resources on morning routines. But yeah, my morning routine, I wanted to keep it simple. I didn't want to get up hugely early and start writing reams and reams. So 3 bullet points. Even the exercise page takes me less than 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. And I also tend to do somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes of meditation a day. So that coupled with the gratitude diary, and I'll do something on meditation at some point too, a tip on that. But that sets up my morning routine, and it's easy. You know, I just get up half an hour earlier, do that, even 20 minutes earlier, what I can fit in. So tip number 1, don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself. Make it simple, and then you will do it. Tip number 2 is around picking a time of day that suits you. So for me, I do it in the morning, and that suits me in terms of my routine. It also suits me because I like to reflect on the previous day, and then I feel like I'm kind of reset and programmed to be grateful for the whole day. Some people do it in the evening and they reflect over that day, but for me, previous day and doing it in the morning. So yeah, again, you know, don't put pressure on yourself to make it an onerous task. Make it only 3 bullets if you want, and don't pressure yourself to do it at a time that other people are doing but that you know isn't going to work for you. So for me, morning, 3 things. Try and do it every day. I say that, sometimes I don't do it every day. Sometimes I'm away for the weekend, or I'm doing something and I don't always keep it up. But generally I try and do it most days. And this is because it's cumulative. So, you know, just to do it once a week, it's all good stuff, but it's not going to have quite as big an impact as that daily repetition of something. I mean, think about this. You're training your brain. Your brain is a fantastic tool. And so often we either don't use our brains half the time, it seems, or we use our brain against us. You know, like I talked about the reticular activating system earlier. We can use our brain against us to look for things to be grumpy and miserable about, because we have a story in our head that we're grumpy and we're miserable and everything wrong happens to us. So why not use these fantastic tools to be good for us? So to program our brain in the way we want to be. So pick a time of day that suits you. Don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself. Do it every day, so you've got this cumulative effect and you're regularly training your brain. Also, I kind of hate the expression fake it till you make it, but for me it applies in this case. You know, even when you're not feeling it, even when you're like, really, I'm not feeling very grateful, you know, even if you can be grateful for the fact you woke up this morning, the fact you're breathing, and the fact that you have a roof over your head, boom, there are 3 things right there. And actually you'd be surprised. There have been times where I've just been so grumpy and miserable, but I've had this practice and I've got up and I've done this, and it actually turns your day around. I look back and I go, oh yeah, oh shit, there were loads of things yesterday that I was really grateful about. And immediately that puts me in a better mood. So fake it till you make it as well. And the 5th main tip is around trying a format that works for you. So me, I like writing. That was part of my job, and still is. And also, I just enjoy it. Writing is a style that works for me. That might not work for you. If you're a visual person, is it a video diary? Is it a picture? I've actually done gratitude diaries with kids, or we used to call them happy diaries. And kids would draw pictures of things that they were happy about. And if you're creative in that way more, draw pictures. I know people that use a gratitude jar. So they get a big jar and they put one thing every day, fold up in a piece of paper into the jar that they're grateful for. And then at the end of the year, or at the new year going into the next year, they look through and they have this lovely then jar to look at all the grateful moments throughout the year, which I think is pretty damn cool. So choose a format that suits you as well. So yeah. 5 top tips there for gratitude diaries. Don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself. Do what you can. Do it at a time of day that works for you. Do it every day if you can, just about. Don't beat yourself up there if you don't, okay? Fake it till you make it. And also try a format that works for you. But really also give it to yourself as a gift. You know, give yourself that time to do it. And I promise it will change your attitude. You'll start to see more stuff because you're looking for that stuff. There's a quote that's often attributed to Buddha. Who knows if it was him or not, but it says the mind is everything what you think you become. So if you are programming your brain to think about gratitude, to look for things to be grateful for, then you will therefore be grateful, and you'll see things and experience things to be grateful for. It's a kind of virtuous circle there. And I'd like to set you a challenge as well. Can you be grateful for something, even in seemingly difficult circumstances? You know, what can you find in a circumstance to be grateful for? I remember years and years ago now, when I was still much more in the corporate role, I was made redundant. And I was devastated at the time. It was like someone pulled a blanket out from under me. And yet it was one of the things that was on the path that led me to changing completely what I do, and to having a life that I much more enjoy now, and doing work that fulfills me. So there's always something in there, you know. Can you look for that silver lining? I don't mean that to be twee and pass the sick bucket, but can you look for that? There's a fantastic haiku poet called Basho, and he must get just, you know, 10 out of 10 or 11 out of 10 for the Zen factor, and being a perfect example of gratitude, because one of his haikus is, since my house burnt down, I now own a better view of the rising moon. How impressive is that? If you can get your gratitude levels to that high, you're like Zen master status. But all joking aside, gratitude diary, it's worked for me, it's worked for clients. That combined with some meditation, which we'll definitely cover in another session, is really, really key for turning things around. And the reason why I think gratitude practice works so well with meditation is that gratitude also helps keep you in the present moment and appreciating that present moment. So, I'm not sure how many of you meditate or know the purpose of it. We often think it's about just emptying our brain and escaping and zenning out, as it were, but it's more around keeping completely in the present, and how hard that is. And gratitude helps to keep you in the present, because if you're not trying to rush to the next thing because you want the next thing, because you're dissatisfied with the present moment, then you're in a much better spot, and much more able to readily appreciate everything going on around you. I've seen all sorts of gratitude tools as well. I've seen people go on kind of gratitude walks or meditation walks, where they're kind of looking around them, even for the simple things to be grateful for. So what can you be grateful for today? Like I say, gratitude diary, massive epiphany for me. I mean, that's why I'm still doing it after 3 years, because it's of so much use. And it was such a revelation to me that a couple of years ago, I wrote an article for Tiny Buddha, which is an online self-development resource, on gratitude practice. So I am going to put the link to that article in the comments below this video. So hopefully that might be helpful. Those of you who prefer to see things written down, and it's got more structure to it, it's got a few more tips as well, and it's got all those quotes and bits and pieces in it. So if you like a written record of it, check out the comments in the link below. Tomorrow, so Thursday, I'm going to cover the reticular activating system, which sounds very technical and boring, but it's actually the bit we just touched on about the brain's gatekeeper, and how you can get that to work for you, and how amazing it is, with a bit of a simple exercise that you can do along with the video. So tune in for that. Please let me know of anything you'd like me to cover. I will try my best. Thank you so much as well, bless you, for the comments I've had from folks out there. I really appreciate it. Some people have shared the video, and that really touches me. I know these are like super kind of friendly and not necessarily very professional and very slick, but that's how I am, and the fact that you've felt that you want to pass those on, that's really cool. I really appreciate it. Anyone that feels the need or would like to do that, I'm very grateful. Okay, so I hope that's helped. The purpose of these Facebook Lives is to give you something, coaching tools that you can take away and use at home. You know, coaching is one thing. I think it's really valuable self-development gift to yourself, but just to have a tool, just to be able to take something away and use it in your daily life. So practice gratitude. Can you start a gratitude diary? Start it today, start it tonight, start it tomorrow. And can you look at difficult situations and see what good there can be in there? I hope that helps. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow.